My name is Paul Cannon.
And I'm Lacey Cannon, and we have a nonprofit called Indigenous Regeneration, where we are restoring the natural biodiversity on a 6-acre parcel of land on the San Pasqual Indian Reservation. It'll be a facility where we'll be teaching Native youth on regenerative living concepts, organic farming, primitive survival skills.
So with this project, we really just want to teach the kids, what they're saying is that the new way of farming is really the old way. And so looking back to my indigenous roots that are to this reservation and using some of those practices that we've used for thousands of years, just reincorporating them, taking them to a larger scale, allowing kids to grow their own medicine, grow their own food, and the principles of what sustainable living means and what it means to truly be sovereign with our food.
Yeah, and Matayum, it serves as a space to really connect people back to the land. So each installation at Matayum serves a very specific purpose to be able to achieve that and educate through the process, as well as really create a space that feels like you're stepping back into time, but you're also very much so inspired into the future of taking your cultural roots. Some of the goals of Indigenous Regeneration, our long-term goals are really food sovereignty for all tribes and intertribal connectivity. So one of the ways that we feel that we can do this is through the way that we're setting up Matayum, to become a space where we can train up a job corps to be able to use forward-thinking, ecologically solution-based building methods for ecodomes. Something that we're looking at that we're very interested in is super adobe domes, where they're built from sandbags and the price points are $1 a square foot. So Matayum has a village that will be modeled after the old Kumeyaay ways, but it'll have some of these villages and these domes kind of present within it. And the Job Corps program will be focused on learning these building techniques so that we can train up a crew to be able to provide housing and jobs on the reservation. So some of the goals are for Indigenous Regeneration and with Matayum is to train up a group from our Job Corps on the reservation with the education department to be able to learn some of these building techniques so that essentially we can take these technologies from reservation to reservation and use this model of Matayum to be able to provide this for each tribe. And so we would love to create the first Native American woofing system, and woofing is willing workers on organic farms. And so we feel that if we can build some of these villages like Matayum on each reservation, that we could create intertribal connectivity and invite natives from different tribes to travel around and stay in these villages and trade for half a day of working the farm. So essentially we'll not only be creating this intertribal connectivity, but we'll also be achieving food sovereignty for each tribe that we're able to incorporate into the program. And some of our long-range goals include doing that for tribes across the country.
And across the world, everybody's indigenous to somewhere. There's been disconnection with a lot of tribes and a lot of people,
and with our food.
And with our food, and that disconnection. So we're really just trying to bring people back.
The reason food sovereignty is so important to me is because at the height of disease in my body, I weighed 250 pounds and had major health issues that I was being told would be cancerous within 3 years. And so I made some massive changes into my life and really began to reconnect to my food source. And through reconnecting to my food source, I was able to lose over 100 pounds and completely heal myself. And not only physically heal myself, but I began to have more of a spiritual connection with the land and with what I was putting into my body every day. And so just kind of the importance of that for me, just having that change in myself was feeling like this is so important, this is a basic human right for everyone. And mass media has really poisoned our society, and the food systems are definitely poisoning our society. And so how can we create something that can reverse that damage and put the power back into the people's hands and really inspire people to be connected to their food and to be able to heal themselves with what they're eating?
So my personal story with food sovereignty started with depression. I struggled with alcoholism, addiction, and a lot of that came from sugar at an early age. I was exposed to high amounts of sugar and processed flours and food. And In the later years, I looked to stimulants, and I found them in drugs and alcohol and sex and other things that were abusive to my body and to the world around me. And so once I started looking at what I was putting in my body, what I was eating, it kind of changed my perspective. It gave me more power. It gave me more direction, with feeling that the more I go to the source, the more I go to the root, the more I realize, oh, I don't need that. I don't need the toxicity. I don't need the toxins in my body. And I was able to heal myself, and I was able to get on a path, and I had an awakening, and I was able to get to a point where I see that this is a human right, that we have the right to indulge. We have the right to take whatever we need from this earth, and sometimes that we all have our vices. But we also have the right to be educated properly about, and we also have the right to have a connection to our food source. We also have a right to have a connection to our water and to each other. And through mass media and marketing and through our own desires as a civilization, we've led ourselves into a very narrow way of thinking and living that isn't really serving us long term. It's causing more dis-ease than it's causing healing. And so with this project and with our organization, we really want to shine the light on the educational aspect of just making the connection to food, medicine, water, healing.
Yeah, so some of the things that we're working on at Matayum in the future here will be, it's the future side of Res Rocks Amphitheater. So we've all heard of Red Rocks Amphitheater.
In Colorado.
In Colorado, we'll be developing Res Rocks, and so it's a natural amphitheater carved out of the hillside. Something that's really unique and amazing about our nonprofit is that we have a lot of musicians on board with us, including Paul, a very talented local Native American musician and part of Iron Sage Wood. And his bandmates are on our board, Damian DeRabio and Abner Tavares. Yeah. And another one of our board members is Nako Bear, who's a world-renowned musician and also a Native American.
Activist as well. In which we all use our art for good causes.
So a lot of our educational installations are paired as community events that incorporate music, food, culture, and all of the principles that we're talking about. And so Res Rocks will be home to many future fun concerts, educational movie nights, workshops, seminars.
Yeah. Demonstrations, presentations, yeah.
Some of our other installations will include an aquaponics station where we'll be growing fish to be included in a free CSA food program for the tribe. We have a 2.5 acre food forest that's going in so that we'll have year-round food for the CSA program. So essentially we'll be shooting at first to feed 190 tribal members and eventually expanding to 1,200 tribal members and lineals, providing food boxes each week for people to have for free. Yes, so Matayum, Matayum definitely has a lot of opportunity for some amazing volunteer work. And something else that Indigenous Regeneration is doing outside of Matayum is that we are going to be restoring a biodiversity corridor between multiple plots of land on the reservation. So through the USDA and the NRCS, we are planting thousands of native species throughout the San Pasqual Reservation to kind of connect these areas to encourage migratory species and natural pollination and colonization of the species within those areas. And really just kind of in that sense, those practices are a way that we're combating global climate change and what's taking place within this region. And so by restoring the land back to its natural state, you're really not only helping out all of those plants, you're really helping out all of the animals that live in this area. And so we're really excited.
Bringing some back, right?
Yeah, some that are definitely endangered right now we get to bring back, and we have lots of exciting volunteer opportunities for that. We're asking people to come donate your time, come plant plants with us, come plant trees.
Come plant a tree, donate a tree.
We believe very much so that it's all about what are you good at. So let's find what you're good at, and then let's find a space for you to plug in and really give back. So every person in the tribe has value, and we're extending that tribe. It's not just about my tribe or just about Native people. It's about all people. And community. So we would love to build community and ask people to come help. And we're also looking for long-term sponsors and funders for some of these installations, like the Res Rocks Amphitheater and the Village. There's, definitely a need there financially, although we've been very blessed so far with support. The project is of large scope, and so funding is definitely something that we are in need of. If you would like to volunteer, we would love for you to get in contact with us through our website. It's indigenousregeneration.org. You can also reach out to us on Instagram or Facebook.
And the username's at Indigenous Regeneration.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, so come find us.
Come find us. We'll be waiting.